Hi guys, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. It's quite a special video this. So my name's Stephen.
Spencer here.
I thought you were going to leave me hanging there, Spencer. Yeah. So the reason why this video is a little bit different is because this one's not for sale, but it's just too special not to share with you all. I have obviously known about the clown shoe, Beadvan M Coupe. It goes by so many names. I've known about them for years, and I had really had no interest in owning one until a good friend of mine, Jerry from Performance Tech, put me in touch with John at the South Side Mini Centre, who is a classic car, specialising in minis, classic car specialist. So John basically introduced me to John, who owned this car for 15 years. And for 15 years, it'd done 1,000 miles. I actually priced this car, I think about 4 or 5 years ago. We weren't quite there on the numbers. Anyway, fast forward to like 6 weeks ago, got the chance to buy it again. We bought it, went and picked it up, and Jerry and I were in the car, driving back from Glasgow to Airdrie, in a horrible, horrible rainy night. There was a knock from the front corner, and I still fell in love with it. I absolutely adore this car. I don't know what I like most, staring at the back quarter, or shifting up and down through the really notchy gearbox, or listening to that S50 sing as it reaches 7,500 RPM. It's completely taken me by surprise, and that's the reason why it's not going anywhere. It's going to stay in my small, modest collection. The only downside to that being is 2 of them have to go, and that's the 2 little Kai cars. So the Cappuccino and the Autozam will be moving on swiftly because, truth be told, when I'm looking for an older, cooler car to use for car shows and stuff, I'm never, ever, ever going to take any other car other than this now.
This is you, this. The Cappuccinos are cool, Autozams gets a lot of attention, but they're no... You look at everything else you have, you think, fair, and then this is like, this makes sense.
Yeah, and the thing is, it's fast, it sounds great. Bizarrely, when you sit in the car, see, I've got this thing, and you can bear with me here, guys, and I'm sure you'll understand when I sit in it and I point it out. So when I sit in a car, the waistline has to be up here. Otherwise, I feel like I'm sitting on it rather than in it. But this does a strange thing where the scuttle sweeps up. So when you're looking forward, you do actually feel like you're sitting nice and deep in the car.
So what I also think does it is when you open the door and how high the sill is.
Yes, yep. So basically the base of the seat is almost at the top of the sill. The steering wheel initially looks absolutely enormous because of the size of the airbag. Yeah. But when you're actually driving it, it's got a lovely tactile thin rim. It's got a really plain interior. We've got a radio cassette. But we have modified... Where has it gone?
It's in your rear cubby hole at your left shoulder.
Thank you, Spencer. The Z3M has been dragged kicking and screaming to the modern world. That is a very, very effective Bluetooth cassette adapter. And it was 20 quid off Amazon. And you've got one in the IS.
Yeah, it's so good. It shouldn't work as good as it does, but it worked brilliant.
The only gripe I have with it is when you put it in the cassette, that dangles out.
Yeah. So there's ones you can get without that, but then there's no way to turn it on and off.
Well, you'd need to eject the cassette and then turn it on and then pop it back in again. But that's a small complaint, really. So yeah, the seating position once you get in and you sat down is lovely. The clutch is long, the gearbox it's quite notchy, but from my long distance foggy memories, M cars gearboxes were always notchy until they got up to temperature.
They're not a quick gearbox, like you can't be quick with, you just need to be nice and slow and
deliberate.
Aye.
Yeah. JM reviewed the 997 GT3 and he said that you can't shift with anything other than total concentration, otherwise it gets clunky. This isn't just quite as bad as that, but I love the fact that you need to put, what you get out is what you put in.
Yeah.
And for that reason, I think that's why it's a car you'll never tire of, you'll never get bored of it.
No.
This also takes me back, so guys, just for reference, I am 45, 46 in 12 days, Spencer. dig out the birthday card. So see this?
Yep.
This is like old Ford Granadas and, you know, old 5 Series, 3 Series. They all had that pure, push button to open the boot lid. Now, this is the most bizarre part of this car, is the fact that it has my jacket in the back of it. Look at the boot. We've got a little dog and she sits in there in her basket, quite happy. We can look over this here and make eye contact with her so she doesn't feel like she's the other side of the world from us, because she gets a bit panicky that way. This one has the optional Hammond carded sound system with the subwoofer, and it's got a 6-disc CD changer. Always used to make me laugh back in the day when people used to call them a 6-disc charger.
Charger. You're charging your CDs.
Customer is always right.
Yeah.
And also, it actually has, because it's a BMW and they all have it, the dog net.
Yeah.
So we could let Stella roam free in the back, but she likes her wee basket, to be fair. There is a talk of BMW making the new Z4 into another Beadvan.
Oh, damn.
And they should, but...
They should, but what
a car for touring in.
I know.
You know, you can stick your bags in there, and if you buy something that's slightly bigger than it needs to be, it might well fit in there alongside. We're moving round to my favourite angle, and it's here.
It's the dish.
It's the dish. So Neve, my daughter, she's 21, and she actually said, Dad, what's wrong with the back wheels? What's that bit for?
Cool points.
Yeah. So for every millimetre, you add on extra cool points.
Yep.
It's just a timeless wheel. I believe there's actually 5 sets of these that are 1 inch bigger.
Really?
Genuine wheels, yeah. So if you're one of the owners of one of those 5 sets, I'd love to hear from you. It's on a Pirelli P7, which is a period correct tyre.
Old school.
Yeah, and there's a ton of tread on them, so I would like to change them for PS4Ss.
I'm pretty sure you could burn them off.
Yeah, I think we might find a good excuse to upgrade that tyre. Oh, round here, this is another cool thing. And it's another cool thing that you just... So, see when you're putting fuel in it?
Yeah. It's quite low.
The perfect height.
Yep.
Literally, you have got like a stool. It doesn't take long to fill it up because it only takes about 60 quid. That's why when you're driving it, it looks like it's going through huge amounts of fuel because the tanks are small. That being said, it probably isn't that great on fuel anyway.
No, it's one of those things. This is back when you didn't care about fuel economy.
No, because fuel was 50 pence a litre.
Aye, so there was no fuel gauge, there was nothing.
Well, there was a fuel gauge, but there wasn't an MPG.
I know MPG gauge, that was it.
Sorry,
Ditch that, I can put them in.
Looking in from the passenger side, look at the condition of the interior, especially that passenger seat. The driver's seat's showing a little bit of age just now, out of bolster, but it's not saggy or anything. It's just witnessed a few entrances and a few exits over the year with jeans and stuff that's caught leather every now and again.
That's just character, but...
I know. And it's a shame it doesn't have the leopard skin mats.
No.
You're not into the leopard. They were so unlike anything you'd seen from Bavaria before.
No leopard skin in a Z3M.
The sunroof is, for the size of the car, enormous. Lets lots of light in. But
that makes the car for me. I think without that, it'd be quite claustrophobic in it.
Yes, because the windscreen when you're sitting in it's quite small, and it just tilts, and you've never got it closed.
No.
Always
it should never be closed.
So we've got some rather nice but quite pointless auxiliary dials. So we can see what time it is. We can see where the outside temperature is. But we can't see what the oil temp is, so we've got one that's quite handy.
There you go.
The other two would have been nicer if they were like oil pressure, and maybe battery.
Battery would be a good one.
So when you sit in here, you also notice that they're from an E30. Yep. Which I never noticed when I had so when I was 22, I had a 2.8 in Atlanta blue. I thought it was James Bond, and I didn't realise there's so many E30 parts in that car.
I like how they say the 1M was a parts bin car, whereas this was the first to do it.
Well, this is actually a Skunks Works job, which I absolutely love. It's a bit like the story with the ISF, where they took, or the engineers raided the parts bin and went, "Look what we've made," and all the bosses went, "That's cool."
Aye. This has been car guys running companies.
Not the accountants. So let's have a look at the engine. That's if you guys are still actually watching this video, because it's our first time, so it's the first format of this. We are going to move on to some of the staff cars as well. And
you need to explain your front bumper because somebody will call it out.
oh, yeah, okay. So when we went to buy it, the first thing I noticed was M cars of this age did not have fog lights. And this car has fog lights. And we thought, that's not a good sign, because the keen eye of you all will know that an M Z3, whether it's a coupe or a roadster, has got little flippers here.
Yep.
And this is all flat. So as it turns out, after some exhaustive research by Spencer, thank you, it turns out this is actually it's a genuine BMW
Aero kit bumper.
Yes.
So this, you could option this bumper, side skirts and a rear spoiler and spats on any Z3. I think it's for people that want the M look, because back then you never had M Sport.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's right. And also, depending on where the person stayed, they might have wanted fog lights for extra illumination. Maybe stayed in the country. You know, we don't know.
Because the only way on a Z3M that's how you could get fog lights, because a normal Z3 has them standard.
That's right. Yeah, it's just the M cars have no fog lights in lieu of air ducts for the brakes.
Which you can take them out and put in. There's an actual piece that attaches for the brakes to cool them.
Ah, right, okay.
Because it's still a factory.
Yeah, I'm not going to drive this car hard enough for that.
No, it was quite cool they did it.
Are we ready?
Yep.
This is when engine bays look proper. Oh my God, the size of that bonnet. But it needs a big bonnet because that is a big engine. Now, when you are giving this a bit of a send, and you're trying to keep the revs up because it's such a fiery top end, when you're going down, or if you're going into a corner and you're putting in a second and the revs are coming up, there's an awful lot of engine sound. And I don't mean intake or exhaust, just actual mechanical noise going on. And that takes a bit of getting used to. It feels like you're being quite hard on it, but you aren't. I mean, sometimes you shift down and it takes up to 5,000 RPM. It's got another 2.5 to go.
Yeah.
But if you look at how close you are sitting to that engine.
Oh, you're right on top of it.
And I don't think there's going to be a huge amount of sound deadening in there either.
No, this was, you bought an M car, you're hearing everything.
Yeah, definitely. You're not buying a slightly spiced up, faster version. You're buying an actual M car.
Aye.
And once you get used to it and you appreciate that all you're hearing is the engine doing its thing, and recognising that it's because normally you're insulated so heavily from, I mean, look at the new G Series.
Oh, there's no noise. If you turn all of the active sound off, there'd be nothing inside.
No. I mean, a 320 literally from the inside could be an electric car. There's
Yeah,
there's no sound. I know that's maybe not a fair comparison, but it's just trying to give you a...
Even a new Z4 M40i, I know it's a convertible, but it's still all piped through.
That's right. And why does it need to have a 6-cylinder engine synthesised into the cabin? You know, it's because they're so heavily insulated. So these are, without a doubt, very, what we should call acoustic.
Listen to the ears.
Are you ready?
Yep.
I love this. So if you have a look, so this is the throttle for all of our younger viewers. This is usually controlled by a motor and a potentiometer on the pedal. This is actually a cable, a BMX brake, right? And if you look at this all moves, because through here we've got individual throttle bodies, whereas a regular engine has got one throttle flap for the whole engine. This has one per cylinder. And it would be a shame not to hear it, Spencer.
It would be. Josh, want to add on what's coming into this engine move soon?
A Joff steel carboneer box. Yes, I had it for about well, to be fair, it was in Cartech for a couple of weeks, getting a new condenser, a new viscous coupling for the fan.
Seat bushes.
Because, guys, believe it or not, the seat bushes perished, and every time you change gear, the seats were rocking, and Julie actually said, "Are we safe?"
Might get polybush seats.
That's right. Just like upgraded PowerFlex bushings in the seats. So that was done. Well, what else was done? New.
Clutch.
Yep, the clutch was bled because the bike was really low down, and also
Rear brake.
caliper rebuilds for the front.
That was it.
Before we send it to the guys over at Cartech, who, guys, if you've got something special, you know, they're in Glasgow, and we'll put a wee link to their socials in the description below. Before we send it to Cartech, it went round to Greg's, round at Turner's, who do all of our sales prep and we've done like track road ends and a few other bits and bobs just to tighten up, and then we got the geometry done at Peregrine. So there's been quite a bit of work just
recommission. It's typical 15 years sitting. It was MOTable, but to use it, it was just stuff you needed to put right.
Definitely, definitely. So now we have freezing cold air conditioning, seats that don't move, a viscous fan that's not whirring away like a helicopter all the time, and it's just, and the geometry and everything done with the guys at Peregrine. It's just lovely, but it needs a bit more sound. Yeah. So this here is being replaced by a carbon airbox, and there'll be a filter here. And I have admittedly spent far too long on YouTube. E36, M3 Evo, carbon airbox, blah, 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 because there's not that many of these, but it's the same engine as a E36 M3 Evo. Sold with the same sound. Yep. And it comes next week. So if you would like a wee follow-up video on how we get on with that, then let us know. We'll probably do it anyway, because I think it'd be nice to share it as we go through, not like the evolution of the Z3M, I'm not going to do that much to it. Maybe do like a rear box mod or something.
It's noise for the front, you've got noise for the back.
That's it.
That's it.
Because it rides, I mean, like the way this car drives down a bumpy B road is, you would be terrified to ruin it by lowering it and putting spacers on it and everything else. One of the reasons why I think it rides so well down a bumpy road is when it was on the ramp when we went to buy it at John's, it had so much suspension sag. I mean, the droop.
This generation in the E46 still had that. E90s had started moving away from it.
Right, okay.
I think that's, on the back road, I think that's why they're so good, because it's just...
Well, because of the amount of droop that the suspension has, the tyres are in contact with the ground more often. I'm not saying that you're out in your car and you're getting airborne or whatever, but it literally, it just flows so nice.
When we look back at the calendar, there was a few bits where like the road was like a compression in it, or it was lifting. You could see the car, the body move, but the wheels were just on the ground at all time.
Yeah, I know that you can feel the roll in the car, but you can't get a car that's completely stiff, level, and this compliant on our rather broken B-road network. So yeah, a bit extra sound, front and back, and just enjoy it. So guys, that's
your new purchase?
My new purchase, and I hope you enjoyed the video, and we will do some more with the guys' cars. I've got a few other things as well, which I would like to share, give a wee talk round and stuff, because genuinely everybody here, we are all just car guys. We're not just car salesmen. Thanks very much, and I'll see you in the next video. I'll put a couple of links up here for subscribing and suggested video. Bye-bye.